It is one last chance for about 4 Manchester United players to revive their careers at the biggest football club in the world. If they don't, this is the time that Ineos, and of course, after the recommendation of the new head coach, could be letting go of them. Welcome to the United Sport. My name is Webb. Like, share, and subscribe. And in this video, I'm here to look at 4 players who clearly, if the first training is anything to go by, have got every chance and have got the full potential and ability to revive their careers at Manchester United. Now, we know, of course, some of these players have been there for long. Players like Luke Shaw have been at Man United for long. Since 2014, he has been there, played fewer games than he has sat out because of injury. His quality has never been in doubt. No one can come out there authoritatively and question the quality of Luke Shaw in his fit. But here's the thing, it's not even about his abilities, it's about his fitness. Luke Shaw is arguably one of our most gifted players. And you saw him how on the first training, instantly, Ruben Amorim slots him in the back line, in the back three. And he was there, commanding play and dictating how we start our build-ups. You could probably see it even in the short clip that we saw of the training. But Luke Shaw's problem is not with his skill or talent. It is with his fitness. And in football, for as long as you cannot be fit, you are not good enough. Now, Luke Shaw has this one chance for him to revive his career. If he's going to stay fit, whether he was only pretending because he did not like the previous coach, we can't know. But the guy has not been playing for a long time. He's back now training, and he has got a chance to prove himself and stay. The other player who has got to use this as a revival time is Mason Mount. Honestly, not many of us up to now understood why exactly Manchester United paid £60 million to Chelsea to sign Mason Mount as our first signing of that that transfer window. Until today, we wonder what exactly guided this. What was the wisdom behind this decision? But Ten Hag is normal, and Ruben Amorim has come in, but we seem to see, of course, if the first training is anything to go by, and again, bear in mind, most of some of the players who should be the first team were not there. But if the first training is anything to go by, there can be a position for him, because you clearly saw he did not have a clear, definite, defined position in the structure he used to play in before. Right now in this one, he probably looks like the guy who can play behind the striker, the two guys playing behind the top striker. And he looked sharp in there and happy playing in that role. The thing about Mason Mount's game is his ability to press. And you probably feel those two players who play behind the number 9 have got to have that ability to press. Now, that alone can be what he builds on to stay at Manchester United under Ruben Amorim. But he has got to prove himself first by staying fit, showing the right attitude and character. I've got a little bit of issues about Mason Mount's character and mentality. He seems to take things lightly. He seems to be so casual. I mean, and I might be wrong. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But to me, he comes off a little bit casual at a time when you're supposed to be as serious, like your life depends on it. Because indeed, it does depend on their seriousness under the new coach, under the new management. But at times, he looks a little bit too casual and at the wrong time, and it doesn't look well on him for a player who has got to prove himself to the jury. That's still out there. So Mason Mount is the other player. The other third player, obviously, is Anthony dos Santos. Now, this one I think has got the most pressure or weight on him because he's a big signing, signed with a lot of expectation, signed for a lot of money. He has got a long contract, but his confidence had died. Now, the coach before, the previous coach trusted him with his life. The thing is, himself does not, I think, believe he has got the trust of the fans. And I think we as supporters of Man United have got to cut Anthony some slack and let him play. Let him feel like we believe in him so that he can get that confidence. Because for me, the issue with Anthony is not about him not being able to play football. It's the issue of lack of confidence. It's an issue of lack of confidence. If he can get back his confidence under Ruben Amorim, like we saw him in the first training, the moments we saw him playing, flying on off from the right, maybe he can have a chance. And the beauty is Ruben Amorim seems to be the kind of manager who loves, again, who also loves to use inverted players, love to use left-footed players. So that as well can be an advantage. But I saw him continuing to do his things. I think trying to impress Ruben Amorim with his funny touches on the ball. And I'm thinking again, is this boy really in his right mind? Is he really doing this? Was that the right time? This was during training yesterday. During Ruben Amorim's first training, Antony does this in training. Now, not that it's a bad thing to do in football, but again, there's what they call emotional intelligence or reading the room. Was this really the right time for him to start doing this in training? You know, for a player like Antony, I don't know. Again, I mean, he's a footballer. He has got to enjoy his football and stay true to himself. But yeah, perhaps it wasn't the perfect occasion for him to be pulling such. And we know that he has been guilty before for trying to pull, some moves in important games at Old Trafford, and he faced it rough with the supporters. So I think he needs to be, I think, guided a bit. Again, he's a young footballer, and this is why Ruben Amorim came in as a head coach to train these players and teach them how to carry themselves, especially on which occasions. But Antony has got a lot of pressure. He's a top earner, one of the topmost earners at the club. He's a big signing and long contract, but the fans had lost all their belief in him. So he has a chance against Amorim to establish himself as an important player, but also to show a different dimension like we've never seen at Manchester United. Now, the other player, of course, who has got every chance, because again, the players I spoke about, with the exception of Luke Shaw, the other two, Antony and Mason Mount, have got edge on their side. They've got that bit of an advantage of edge. So is my final player in Tyrell Malacia. Tyrell Malacia, and I don't want to go hard on him because, we're talking a player who has been out playing for more than 18 months. He has been injured. He only returned recently in the under-21s, and we saw him struggle really. But in the first training, he looked okay playing as a wing-back. He was actually playing one touches. You could see that he's trying to get back into the game, and his, love, passion for the game is beginning to get back. His mental, his attitude towards the game, because if you've been injured for a long time, you certainly need time to get back into it. Like, you want to enjoy your football again. So he has some bit of time, and I'm sure he's one of those who will be really patient with. We've got to be patient with Tyrell Malacia. I think it's the only fair thing to do, because there is no doubt about his potential, about what he can do on a football, and more so now that he has got a coach, a teacher of the game to work with. I think it is a proper restart for him. So for me, those are the four players who have got to revive their careers under Ruben Amorim. For them, it's revival time. For the others, Casemiro and the rest of the team, the whole team, for the rest, it is more of proving themselves to the new coach. It's not really reviving themselves, it's proving themselves. I think there's a difference. It's one thing to revive yourself, it's a whole different thing for you to prove yourself. The others need to prove themselves that they can play the way Ruben Amorim wants to play. They want to play for him, because certainly they know by now, they should know that this coach has got the full backing of the people who hired him into the job. My name is Webb. Like, share, and subscribe, and let me know in your view. And of course, I want to talk about Rashford. I've spoken about Rashford enough. Garnacho, we've been talking about them a lot lately, but those are players who need to prove themselves as well. But even for Rashford, probably it's also revival, more of revival than proving himself. Rashford needs to revive himself. I think I should have known. I should have been adding him on my list. Rashford too needs to revive himself, because he had tainted himself so bad that even when he goes out on holiday or in a break, people still don't want to see him celebrating, watching an NBA game. That's how much people had started hating him for going from hero. A proper case of going from hero to villain. So he needs to revive himself as well. That said, they've got the time, they've got the chance, and I think the right head coach to revive them. It's now all in their hands, if you ask me. Their attitude and certainly their fitness and understanding and ability to adjust to the new methods. Like, share, and subscribe, and let me catch you later, fam.